Hi guys, today we are going to be doing 3 looks with the new Melt palette and I am so excited. I'm sure you've all seen this palette already, but I've done a full video with the whole collection and I did swatches and I tried it out. So if you missed that video, I will link that up there. I had so much fun with this collection and I cannot wait to dig into this palette. So I've already kind of done the rest of my face. We're really just gonna jump straight in because I'm just really excited. I've already primed my eyes with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. And I don't have a ton of time today, so it's gonna have to be something like fairly simple, but I'm still gonna try to use quite a few of these shades. I wish I had a plan because it would have made my life so much easier, but I don't, so we're just gonna go straight in. I do really want to use this shade because it is so pretty. I'm not sure what exactly I want to pair it with though. Maybe I'll actually use some of these neutrals today just so we can test those out as well. If you're new to my channel, I don't really do a lot of neutral looks, but I still like to, test out the shades in the palette that I do have in front of me. So maybe what I can do is I can use these two in my crease, maybe do this on the lid, see if I want to maybe use one of the new liners in the collection as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this shade. I also kind of want to just make sure that whatever I end up doing doesn't clash too much with my sweater, which might be hard because there's a lot of colors in my sweater and it's already a lot. So I'm going to take this sort of yellowy shade here and I'm going to start by just putting that into my crease as my transition shade. That is a really pretty color. That is such a cute orange. It definitely leans more orange, I feel like, on the eye than it does yellow, but I'm not mad at that at all. That's really cute. I really like this. This would be really cute as a one and done eyeshadow look. Just put this all over your lid and just have a yellow moment. That would be really cute. That's something I really do often, and I don't really do a lot of all matte looks because I just find that, I don't know, I find that they don't wear as well as shimmery looks do, on me at least, because sometimes I have watery eyes and when you do, obviously, if you have mattes on your lid, that's just gonna mess everything up. So I try to usually just play it safe and put shimmers on my lid just in case my eyes end up watering, because that way I can at least just tap it out or whatever. And I also just find that it's kind of tricky to do all matte looks. I just find that a lot of the time, if you put a matte all over your lid, it'll just end up looking a little patchy. I don't know if that is just me, but that is just my experience at least. And I don't like the idea of just having all matte looks. Maybe I'm just scared of them. Maybe I need to challenge myself to do them more often. Let me know. Do you like all matte eye looks or do you prefer having shimmers? Because I feel like most people I watch at least prefer doing shimmers on the lid. So maybe I'm a little influenced by that as well. I don't know. Oh, also, I am wearing one of the lipsticks from the collection today. I'm probably gonna have to change after because I don't really want to be wearing a super bright in-your-face lipstick when I'm leaving the house today, but I still wanted to wear it so I could show you one of them. This is in the shade Bezos, and it's really pretty. All of Melt's lipsticks are beautiful, and I really like their formula as well. I think their matte formula is very similar to the MAC formula that I really, really love. This color is going on beautifully. It's looking really, really nice, super easy to blend out. We'll see if maybe I want to do something else under my eye. Maybe use one of the greens or something like that. I'm gonna have to just kind of see how things are looking. I think my dog is getting breakfast, so he's quite excited, as I'm sure you can hear. Oh, I probably should have used the brush from the collection. I totally forgot. It's such a habit for me to use my Rephr brushes. I just can't help myself. So to deepen this up, I'm gonna use, I was thinking, yeah, I'll probably, this one or this one? Probably this one. This one is called Maria, and I'm gonna use one of the brushes in the collection. This is just the smallest of the blending brushes, and I'm just gonna start patting that on the outer corner of my eye. This is gonna be my deepening shade here. That's a really, really pretty color. I'm seeing a little bit of a streak forming there. I'm gonna make sure that I get a good blend here. It's probably gonna go away the more I pack on because I do find that Melt's mattes are quite buildable, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully I won't have any issues with this color. It's also just, I'm not used to using this brush as well, so it definitely could be that I'm putting down the color differently because I'm using a brush that I'm not used to using, if that makes sense. And I'm not having any problems on this side, it's definitely just on this side right here. So I don't want to judge this shadow too harshly because I don't know if maybe there was just a little crease in my eyeshadow primer or it's because I'm using a different brush. I don't know exactly what is going on yet. It does seem to get better though the more I kind of pack on in that position, so I'm really not that worried about it. And especially since I said it only happened on one eye, it could just be that my eyeshadow primer wasn't properly blended out. but this is a beautiful color. Like, I really like, I kind of wish that I went with something a little bit more like brown. Never thought I would say that, but I just feel like it would have gone a little bit better with my sweater, but that's okay. We're definitely gonna make this work. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that transition shade and just make sure that the edge here is nice and blended. Yeah, I'm still seeing a little bit of like a line here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's almost like it's not sticking like right in my crease, and I'm not sure exactly what is going on with that because on this side I'm not having any problems. So it definitely could just be a fluke. Maybe I'll try to use this shade in one of my other looks as well, just so we can see what exactly is going on. I'm gonna go in with one of my Rephr brushes just to see if I can fix this, if maybe I just wasn't able to properly get into my crease with the other brush because it was a little bit too big. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that fixed it almost right away. Like, it's crazy what a difference like the brushes that you use make. Because see how much better it looks now? Like, you really can't even see that little patchy streak that I had before. So I really think that was just user error because now it's looking amazing. So I'm thinking what I want to do, just because like I said, I do want to use more shade. So maybe I will do like green under my eye. Maybe that will be a lot, but listen, I can't help myself. I'm going to take this green in the middle here. This one looks absolutely beautiful. It's called Sentimientos. I don't know if I said that right. And I'm just going to go ahead and basically smoke that out underneath my eye. And I feel like this is going to go with the look, honestly. Mostly because it matches my hair, and I feel like when something matches my hair, like, it just automatically goes. I have gotten some questions about which hair color I'm using right now, and this is a mix of Joico and Arctic Fox. Two different kinds of green, plus I washed my hair once, so it's a little bit faded. Yeah, I usually just mix whatever color I have laying at home, honestly. And usually the color will change, obviously, depending on how often I wash it and stuff like that too. So it's always interesting to see like how my hair color fades, because some colors just fade better than others, and I feel like green fades pretty decently because your hair, at least if you've bleached it, will have like a bit of a yellow undertone depending on what else you have going on in your hair. Obviously, if you put green on top of something that's not been fully removed, it's not going to fade as well, but if you have a pretty clean canvas underneath, it's going to fade pretty nicely. I'm going to go back in with the crease shade that I used and just make sure that the outer corner is like blended here. I feel like I'm getting Subculture vibes from this. Like, I feel like you could do the same look with the Subculture palette from ABH. So I like where this is going. For the lid, like I said, I really want to use the shade down here. So that is what I'm going to do. But first I am going to put down some glitter primer just because I like doing that with all of my shimmers. It just really makes them pop. I never use a lot. I just take a little bit like on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna take the flat brush that comes in the collection. This is really, really nice for shimmers. I'm just gonna put my glitter primer basically all over my lid. I'm gonna layer it over that outer corner shade as well because I do want to blend that shimmer into the matte. And then with the sticky side of my brush here, I'm just gonna dip straight into the shadow. This one is called Sagrado. And I'm just gonna put that, I'm gonna start in the middle of my lid, just drag it out, and I'm gonna put it on most of my lid, and then I'll probably use a little bit of one of the lighter shades in my inner corner. But this is looking really nice. And then let's see, for the front portion, I guess I will use the same shade that I used in my first impression video. I'm gonna take this one because it's just, I don't know, it's very fitting for like the front portion of the lid. I feel like this is the shade called Tequila, and it's just a kind of a light gold, but it's a beautiful metallic color, and it just looks really, really good. But I feel like most of the colors in this palette is just going to blend beautifully into. And I think these are all of the colors that I want to use for this eye look. I'm going to go ahead and finish off. I will definitely switch out my lipstick because I just feel like this is too much. Like, this is, even for me, this is a little bit too much. It doesn't really go with the eye look, I feel like. So I'm gonna find some kind of a lipstick that I'm gonna feel a little bit more comfortable wearing with this look, and then I will come back and I will show you what I did to finish. Okay, so here's the final look, and I feel like with a nude lipstick, this looks so much better. So just quickly to run through what I did to finish off. In my waterline, I used a dark green liner. This is from ColourPop. It's in the shade Fast Lane. My blush today is from YSL. This is the number, I don't know if this has a name, it says 3 on it. I don't know. It's an orange blush. I got this sent as a subscriber gift. Thank you so much. I know I haven't reached out to you because I completely forgot who sent me this. So if you sent me this, thank you so much. I've been using it a lot. It's awesome. And then for my lipstick, I did end up buying one of the Gucci lipsticks from the Sephora sale. This is my first time using it. I think this is so beautiful. Like, I really wasn't sure at first when I like looked at it. I was like, that's gonna be way too cool tone. But like on the lips, kind of mixed in with my lip color, it's not looking as cool tone as I thought it would, and this color is absolutely stunning. This is in the shade Penny Beige. I love it so far. Like, this is beautiful. And then my highlighter today is from Lethal Cosmetics. This is in the shade Isotope. I kind of forgot like how pretty this is. Really glad I pulled that out again. So that's basically going to be it for look number 1. I really like how it turned out. I really like the contrast between like the warmer tones on top and the green. I think it just all kind of came together, and I'm here for this, and I'm so excited to be playing more with this palette. So let's just go ahead and jump into look number 2. So we're gonna go ahead and do another look, obviously, and I decided to put on one of the lipsticks. So on I have the matte purple one, and this is so beautiful. I feel like on the lips though, it looks a little bit lighter than it does like in the actual tube, but I also didn't put on like a very thick layer, so that could also have something to do with it. But like I said before, I really like the matte formula from Melt. It wears beautifully, it really stays on your lips, and they're not kidding when they say that it is a ultra matte formula, but it's not. You know how like liquid lipsticks are uncomfortably dry? Like, this is dry, but not to the point where like your lips are looking weird and like you're 80 years old. You know what I mean? So I really like that formula from Melt. And I also have to admit, I should have filmed this, but I actually mixed 2 of the blushes in this palette for my blush today, and I think it actually looks really nice. So I mixed this one with this one, and then I topped it with a little bit of this just to, you know, put more blush on my face than I needed, but I think it looks really nice. So you can definitely mix and match these. But I still feel like there should have been 2 light, 2 medium, and 2 dark ones, and I don't really feel like these would qualify as being like medium. Like, I still think that these 3 are too similar. But I have gotten some comments saying that a lot of you have gotten this palette and that the lighter shades work for you, so that is amazing. So if you're very fair and you've been looking for blushes that are not so in your face, like, you would honestly probably really like these. But for me, and I feel like for most people who are, you know, my skin tone or darker, like, those are just not going to work. So I do feel like they had just a little more variety in the blush tones and like just the difference in depth in the blushes than they actually do. But, you know, it's all personal preference, and it really just depends on what it is that you like in your products too. So we're gonna go ahead and do another look. So I have not primed my eyes, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that same primer as first look. I actually have a plan today, which is very unusual for me, but what I want to do is I want to use the gold eyeliner, and I want to do like a giant wing with it, but I do want to put down some mattes in my crease first, but I basically want like my whole lid as well as my wing to just be covered in gold, and I just think that would look really cool. So I think what I want to do is I want to do sort of like neutrals but very intense like on my top, and then I want to do maybe a pop of purple on my lower lash line. I feel like that could be kind of fun, like together with the gold, and have it be sort of holiday Christmassy without it being like red and purple and gold because that might be a little bit too much. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do for this look. And then for the last look, I really want to work with like these greens. I did get a comment saying that sometimes greens can be a little bit tricky from Melt and they wanted to see like a full green look. So I'm definitely going to work with the greens in my last look. But I think for this look, I want to sort of dip into like some of these neutrals that I haven't used yet. So I'm thinking I'll use one of these as a transition shade and then probably deepen it up with this one and this one. Have I used this one? I feel like maybe I have, but let's go ahead and start with the shade right here. And I'm just gonna use this, like I said, as a transition shade, and this is showing up way darker on my eyes than it is in the pan, and I actually really like the tone of that. Like, that is a beautiful transition shade that I feel like is going to be dark enough for most people, but also light enough that you can use it as a transition shade. I feel like a lot of the time, like, transition shades just don't even show up at all, so I appreciate when something is just a little bit darker. I'm gonna keep the shape of this quite round because when I do my wing, I do want to make sure that my wing kind of extends past the edge of my eyeshadow here, so I don't want to really wing this out at all, but this is going on really nicely. If you're someone who likes to do super simple looks, like just doing this in your crease and one of the gold shades on your lid, maybe that would look really, really nice. Obviously not my thing at all, but I can totally see why some people are into that look. But that is just not, like, I like to have fun with my makeup, and if I'm not gonna have fun with my makeup, I just don't even do eyeshadow. Like, on days where I don't really have time, or when I have time for eyeshadow, I just don't do anything. I just do mascara. Like, I don't want to have one color in my crease and just call it a day. Like that just, I don't know, it does, I don't feel like it really enhances my eyes at all. I think maybe it's because I have hooded eyes. I feel like in order for something to make my eyes look better and for me to like contour my eyes, like I need depth. And if I'm gonna just do something super easy like this, like it just doesn't even do anything for me. So I just don't even do it. But I do like having a shade like this as a transition shade. That looks quite nice. And then to deepen it up, let's do this color right here. I can't remember if I've used this, but we're gonna use this, and then maybe I should just go in with this one. I feel like this is maybe a little bit too warm tone for what it is that I'm looking for. I think I'm just gonna use this honestly as my deepening shade. This is the shade called Charo, but I'm gonna take that in the outer corner of my eye. I'm not too fussed about the outer corner because I am going to go over that with the eyeliner, so I don't want to put down too much of this in the outer corner, but I know for a fact that the eyeliner is going to cover whatever eyeshadow that I put on here, because the eyeliners are super opaque and I can definitely build it up, so I'm really not worried about that at all. So I'm just gonna use this as my deepening shade here, and this is just, it's so deep and rich and dark, and I love that in Melt's mattes. Like that is my favorite thing about their formula, is their mattes and their deep dark mattes. So don't worry about it looking like a little bit patchy on the outer corner of my eyes, just because I haven't gone in with enough product there to really cover it, because like I said, I'm gonna go over it with the liner anyway, so it really doesn't matter. I'm just keeping this very, very round. That is blending out so beautifully. Like I'm quite obsessed with this already. Like this is gonna turn out so good. I already just know it. And you're probably noticing I'm not using one of the brushes to do this with, because I just feel like I want to be a little bit more precise than what some of these brushes offer, because there's not really a blending brush that's small enough for what I normally like. I could use the brushes for like a transition shade or something like that, but when I want to be a little bit more precise with the colors, I really just prefer my Rephr 13, and nothing can come close to doing what this brush does for me. So let's see, are these even? They're like fairly even. I'm just gonna blend a little bit extra just on the edge here. I don't think I'm gonna be using any of the shimmers in this palette for this look, because honestly there aren't that many shimmers in this palette, and I've used all of them but one so far, so I can definitely use the last one in my last look. One thing I will say though is I feel like the wear time on the shimmers so far have been incredible. Like my makeup has looked exactly the same when I've gone to bed or taken my makeup off as it has when I put it on. So that is awesome. So these shimmers are definitely very good for wearing for long periods of time. Did I like overblend that a little bit? Maybe I did. It's okay. We're gonna fix it after. So let's see. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take the eyeliner. I need to find like a very precise eyeliner brush here. Okay, this is not the most precise eyeliner brush that I have, but it'll do. It's just an eyeliner brush. So I'm just gonna dip that into the eyeliner here, and this is going to pick up quite a lot because this is a very like thick formula, but it's also super, super creamy. So I'm gonna start by just outlining where it is that I want my wing to be. I'm gonna start with my eyes open and just make like that first line here. And yeah, this is gonna be super opaque and I think really, really cool once I get this onto my eye. And like I said, since I do have hooded eyes, this is just kind of the way that I need to do things. So I'm gonna start connecting this now to where the hood of my eye is. And then I'm going to basically fill in like my whole entire lid with this eyeliner. And we're gonna see how that ends up looking. But I just wanna get like the shape of the actual wing down, and then I'm gonna switch to a bigger brush so that I can do this a little bit quicker. But like, that is super fun. I really like this. I kind of wish I did my lower lash line before I did this, but it's okay. I'm gonna switch to a MAC brush. This is the 222S. It's a very small, it kind of looks like a small version of like a packing brush. I'm just gonna load up my brush with the eyeliner, and then I'm just gonna start basically filling in my lid here. I'm just gonna do this in a bit of a crease shape, making sure that I get like a sharp edge. But these are so nice and creamy and great for using as like liners like this. Or you can use it as a base for eyeshadows. Like if I were to put like a gold eyeshadow on top of this, like that would really make it pop. Not that this needs it at all, because this is stunning on its own. And I'm probably gonna do 2 layers of this just to make sure that it is nice and opaque, but like, that looks really fun. And then for the lower lash line, I kind of wish I did that first because that way I don't have to be careful about like the edge here. But I'm gonna use, have I used this shade? I don't think I've used this one. I'm gonna take the one called Almohada. I've been trying to avoid to say the name of these shades and just point at them. But I'm gonna use the pencil brush that comes with the collection here. Where is my mirror? I was like, I'm using the wrong mirror. I wanted to use this one. And I'm just gonna go ahead and basically put this all across my lower lash line here. And then I will take a fluffier brush and just work on blending this out a little bit here. I don't need this to be like super blown out. I just want to have like a softer edge. And I think this is all I'm going to do for the look. I do want to do some sort of an inner corner though. I'm not sure exactly what. I don't feel like there's really anything in the palette that's gonna go as an inner corner shade. The only really inner corner shade in this palette is this one, and I've already used that twice, so I'm gonna not use that. I'm gonna find some kind of a, maybe a iridescent purple highlighter or something like that. I think that could be kind of fun. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on some mascara and some waterline liner and just finish off, and I'll come back and I'll tell you what I did. And this is the final look, and I just realized that in my first look I forgot to tell you what my inner corner shade was, and some of you were probably wondering. It's one of my single shadows. It's from Terra Moons and it's in the shade Saturn's Rings. It's such a beautiful inner corner shade. That was for the first look, and then for this look, like I said, I wanted to do something sort of lavender, so I used one from Shein by SD. This is in the shade Gleam. Beautiful, I love this. And then let's see, what else did I do? I did a little bit of lavender in my waterline as well, just to match my inner corner and to keep it kind of on the light side. This is Crybaby from ColourPop, and then my highlighter today is the Smoky Glow and Midas Cosmetics collab. I've had this for such a long time and I keep forgetting to use it, but I'm using this gold shade here and it's really, really pretty. And then I just did some mascara, and that was basically it for the look. But I think this turned out really, really good, and so far I'm having a great time using this palette, and I'm sort of sad that I'm only gonna do 3 looks, but at the same time I just don't have time to do more because so many things that I still need to film with, so I have to get through some of the things before I can play with them more. But it's fine. I'm having a great time. I'm gonna live in the moment. I'm gonna enjoy my time while I have it. So let's go ahead and just move into look number 3. So I'm thinking for look number 3, I sort of have a plan. I think I want to, like I said in the previous look, I really want to work with some of the greens, but I also want to do like a little bit of purple, and then we're going to use the last shimmer that I haven't used yet on my lid. So I think I'll do the greens in my crease, maybe deepen it up with the purple. We'll see kind of how that goes. I don't want it to end up getting muddy at all, but I think that's going to be the plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a small clean brush here, and I'm going to start with a shade called, wait, what is this one called? Carino, which is the lightest of the greens. I have obviously already used this once. I'm not sure if it was in my first impression video or what, but I've definitely used this shade. I'm gonna start that in the front portion of my crease here. I'm gonna take that about halfway or so, and then I will use another color that's a little bit deeper to deepen this up with, and also take it in the outer portion of my crease, and then probably deepen it up with one of the purples, because I feel like the tones of these is going to make it so that it's not going to get like super muddy, or at least that's what I'm hoping. But I mean, we'll see what happens. You never really know until you try blending things together, but I really love this color. And I will say for myself, I haven't really had any problems with greens from Melt in the past, so it could also have something to do with like how I do my makeup. Like I'm not someone who really builds more than 2 shadows on top of each other ever. Like I don't know, it's just not like those aren't really the kind of looks that I go for. Like I don't need to have a transition shade and a medium shade and a deepening shade. Like I'm totally okay with just having 2, and usually 2 shadows will build pretty nicely on top of each other. So like I said, I haven't personally had any issues with greens from Melt, but we'll see what happens. I think I'm also going to take this underneath my eyes, sort of in the same spot. And I always get questions when I wear this hoodie, so I thought I would just like let you know before the questions come in. But this is an old hoodie that I got from Zara. I remember I was in the store and I saw it, and there was only one left, and there was a lady who was like looking at this shirt, and I was just like, you better not take that, because I don't care what size that is, but I need that hoodie in my life. And she kind of looked at it and she was like, and she put it back, and I just like ran over and I grabbed it. and I tried it on in the fitting room, and it is a size too big for me, but like I just didn't care. Like it's such a cool hoodie. Like it's all like textured and stuff. I love it. It's one of my favorite items in my collection. Like it's quite loud and out there, but like usually to just wear it with a pair of jeans, it looks great. But yeah, just so funny. Every time I wear this, I always get questions. So I think to sort of deepen this up, I guess I use this one. I was thinking I wanted to use this purple to sort of deepen up the outer corner with, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be darker than this. And I kind of like to go in like a gradient, but I think they're of like almost the same depth that is going to be okay. So I guess I use this just because I haven't used it yet and I want to see how it performs. So I'm gonna take that basically in the outer portion of my crease here and just also build a little bit on top of that first one that I put down, but I do want my front portion of my crease to be a little bit lighter. But this is definitely darker, I feel like, than what I was expecting, but that's okay. So I'm just leaving some room just like in the outer portion here. Maybe I'll wing it out a little bit, maybe not. We'll kind of see what happens. So I'm not gonna use too much of this. I am gonna take a little bit of this underneath my eye as well. So you can see now I have a little bit of room on both sides here that I want to use with the purple. So I'm just going to take a clean Rephr 13 here, which is the same brush that I just used. And I'm going to take this purple in the middle of the purples. There's like 3 purples, so I'm going to use the middle one. This is the one called Newbie. I know I have used that one before, and I'm going to start it in the outer corner of my eye. I don't want to have like a ton of this. I just want to kind of have like this as an accent color and just as my deepening shade. And I'm also gonna wrap it just a little bit underneath my eye as well, just to sort of connect it and just make sure that there is a resemblance of a blend just on the outer portion. And I am gonna go back in with all of these shades and just make sure that it is nice and blended, but I just wanted to put them down beforehand. But look how cool of a color combination that is. Like I really like that. That looks really fun. Just going back in with the brushes that I had the green on, and I'm just gonna make sure that the crease is looking nice and blended. All the colors are blended together. The edges are looking blended. So I think what's left to do is I'm just going to put the shimmer on my lid. Of course, going to just put on some glitter primer beforehand because I do want this to pop as much as possible. But I have no doubt in my mind that this would look good if you sprayed it or used your finger or even used it dry, but I just want all the impact. So I'm gonna take this shade called Mesquite, which is the only shade that I haven't used yet. I think so at least, or close to it. And this is basically just like a light bronze, I guess I would call this. And I'm just gonna put this all over my lid, and then we'll probably use the lighter of the shimmers again in the inner corner, because there is really only one inner corner shade that's a shimmer in this palette, or in general I don't think I would even use any of these mattes as an inner corner shade. That's like the only thing I feel like I'm missing in this palette, is just like one more shade that's a little bit lighter as a shimmer. But then again, like I said in the beginning of the video, like I definitely prefer Melt's mattes over their shimmers. Like their shimmers are okay, but I don't feel like they're really like that special compared to other shimmers that I have in my collection. So I would rather have more of Melt's mattes in my palettes than have shimmers, because I have so many shimmers already that I can pull in, but I know not everybody has that. So maybe another light shimmer would have been nice in here, but it just depends on how you like to do your makeup and how many options you feel like you want to have. But I mean, this is beautiful. It almost looks more orange than bronze, I feel like, on the lids, and it's a really nice formula as well. To finish off, I'm just going to take the shade called Tequila, and I'm just going to put that on the front portion of my lid and just sort of blend it into that orangey bronze shade, just to get a little bit of a lighter front portion here. Also just going to take that in my very inner corner and just wrap it down to my lower lash line a bit. And before I finish off the look, I'm going back into the purple and just making sure that the edge between the purple and the shimmer is looking nice. And then I will finish off with the eyes. I'll come back, I'll show you the look, and then I can give you my thoughts on this palette and let you know if I feel like it's worth the $70 that it costs. Okay, so my look is done. In my waterline, I used 2 highliners because I'm high maintenance. So I used green in the front portion and then purple in the outer portion. These are both from Urban Decay. I don't think any of them are available anymore. For my lipstick today, I didn't want to use any of the ones in the collection. I feel like personally that the lipsticks that come in the collection don't really go with like the looks that I like to do with this palette. So for me, like those lipsticks are more reserved for like other looks rather than the looks that I'm probably going to do with this palette, because this palette is also very bright, and usually for the most part I don't really like super bright lipsticks with like super bright looks. Like I can do like a bright lipstick with a dark look, but like not bright and bright. I don't know, like it would really depend, and I just didn't really feel like it would go with the look. So I just decided to put on one that I already had, and I'm using I did buy this from the Sephora sale. I will have a haul video up probably 2 days after you see this, but I did end up getting the Charlotte Tilbury mini set of Pillow Talk, and like, if this isn't my lip color but better, I don't know what is, because this is, I feel like, my perfect nude, and so far I'm just obsessed. I've already worn this once because I love this. And if you're wondering what's on my cheek, this will also be in my haul video. I did end up getting the Pat McGrath mini palette, and I got the deep one, and it looks like this. Right now I have these two on with no bronzer, and I think it looks absolutely stunning. Like, I was worried that this would be too dark for me, but so far I love it. Like, it's so beautiful. So let's talk about the palette and the collection in general. So I think that this is gonna come down to whether or not you want to spend this much money on the collection, obviously. If you have... I'm sorry. If you have extra money to spare and you don't mind spending the money on something that is this beautiful, quality-wise, I think that you are going to love it. I haven't had any problems with any of the products. I think that the whole collection is stunning. The only thing that I'm like not over the moon with is the blush palette, but then again, like, I did get a really nice look from it in my second look, so like I'm gonna keep playing around with this, but I do feel like it's a little bit limiting for me personally. But I think that, again, the formulas are really nice. It just depends on if you're willing to spend this much money on a collection or these pieces. I think that if you do and you don't have any problems with that, I think that you are going to love them because they are beautiful. They are collector's items. They are absolutely stunning. The brushes are fantastic quality, it seems like. The liquid liners are amazing. I mean, the only one I haven't used was the bright pink one, but again, I just didn't feel like it really went with the looks, and if I were to use it, it would have to be like the main focus of the look, and I didn't want to do that because obviously this is a 3 looks 1 palette, so I wanted to mostly focus on the eyeshadows, even though in my second look I did do like a look based around an eyeliner. But yeah, I mean, I'm so happy I bought this collection. Obviously it's hella expensive, and like I said, if you don't want to spend the money, don't spend the money, but if you want something that's beautiful, I do think that you're going to love it because this is really, really nice quality, and I'm so happy that I ended up picking it up. So that's basically going to be my thoughts and my looks. Let me know which look was your favorite. I can't really quite decide. I like the idea behind look number 2, but I felt like this is so random, but I was looking back at the video that I filmed like after I filmed that, and I was like, maybe I should have worn lashes with that. But then I also was like, the reason I feel that way is because I'm literally running out of like all of my favorite mascaras, and my lashes just didn't look that good. So if I had wore a mascara that was a little bit more volumizing and lengthening, I think I would have liked the look a little bit more, but I felt like my lashes just weren't great with that look. But again, I need to stock up on mascaras. I don't know what happened. I think I've just been like in a, let me try to use up the mascaras that I have in my collection that I don't love. And now that I've been doing that, I'm like, I really need to buy, I just need to buy the mascaras that I love again. Because to me, it makes such a big difference. Like that 10% difference in my lashes, I feel like make the whole difference. Wow, what a tangent. Anyway, that's gonna be my thoughts on this. If you want to see some more melt content, I will make a playlist and I will put that up there. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.